A friend and I were walking through a field and nearby woods. We were checking a pasture fence line that fenced in a group of horses that we had. That's what I did. I broke and rode the wildest untamed horses and I loved it. Well, as we ended our 5-acre walk, I started feeling a small burning in my chest, right in the middle of my chest cavity. I didn't think much of it. From birth, as far as I knew, I had never been sick or even had a cold, so I just continued on as if the burning were nothing. My friend Charles and I stood there talking, for 2 more hours to the guy who owned the land, Preacher Charles. While we were talking, I felt that same burning 4 more times, so I'm thinking maybe this is what they called gas in your chest. Charles and I left. I saw them and took a shower at my grandfather's house. While showering, that same burning came back. It still was a small burning feeling in the same place in the center of my chest. Well, I got out of the shower, put on a change of clothing, went and told my granddaddy that I had a burning in my chest that keeps popping up. He asked, "Does it hurt?" "No," I said. He asked how long has it been going on, and I said, "Just today." I told him if it happened again that I was going to go to the hospital, and just when I said that, it happened again. So, I left to go to the hospital. It was not even 10 minutes away, but before I could get there, my whole body became hot, like real hot, like if you got the heat in your house up high and you're wearing a bunch of clothing, like hot. I only had on a black t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers. So I stopped at the nearby store, went in, got a bottle of water. Then I started feeling dazed. Now, I was not even 5 minutes from the hospital and I was feeling dazed, blurry-eyed and really hot. I opened that bottle of water and poured it over my head, walked to the counter where the store attendant was and said, "Call an ambulance, I'm dying." Now, I don't know how I knew I was dying, but I just knew. I laid down on the floor, and a verse from the Holy Bible came to mind. "No weapons formed against me shall prosper." When I went to recite that passage aloud, instead out comes, "No, Jesus, you said I was going to live." I said it 3 times. The paramedic asked me, "What's wrong?" and I said, "My chest," and then I passed out. I woke up in the hospital emergency room. I sat up and grabbed my chest. It was hurting bad this time. The doctor walked in and said, "He's having another one." I said, "Another what?" and he said, "Massive heart attack." I said, "What me?" I've never been sick in my life, and right then I started throwing up purple fluid from one end of the bed to the other, and some even got on a nurse. I can remember her saying, "He just threw up on my shoes," and I passed out again. This time I opened my eyes, I was not in a hospital, but somewhere else. It's hard to explain, but it felt like a room where there were no colors, no walls, and no darkness. But the room did have a color. It was the color of light. I had no thoughts of my children, my family, and there were no cars, birds, trees, nothing. I knew something was wrong. I felt that I was dead, but it was, not even a worry, like I didn't even care. Then I noticed the light was coming only from one direction, the direction I was looking. There was no side view, only straight ahead tunnel vision. I had to turn my head to see what I wanted to see. Whatever direction I looked in, that's the direction I went in. If I wanted to get from where I was to somewhere else, all I had to do was look, and I was there. I remember after learning that, looking down to see how fast my legs were moving. But there were no legs, no arms, no body, no nothing. I felt as though I was just vision, a set of eyes. But there were no eyes, either. No words were spoken that I heard. It was as if I was so amazed at moving so fast and turning my head to see, and finding myself floating. Whenever I wasn't moving, I felt as if I was floating. I noticed that the things I was learning about the place I was in just popped into my mind. I don't know where my body was or how I was able to see or feel. I felt as if I could have spoken, but I don't even know how I was able to think. But I was thinking things like this, "I don't know about her, that nurse. Here's this guy is dying, and you're worried about a little throw-up on you. Get out of here. I woke up in another hospital that is 45 minutes away. When I awoke, there was this lady hovering over me. Her face was real close to mine. Until this day, I don't know if I was still sleeping, or what. She had on a surgical mask and cap, and her hair was, like, golden. Her skin was like white golden. Her eyes were like diamond-cut ocean-like dark blue, and she said to me, "You're blessed, you're special, and he has something for you to do." I never saw the mask move around her mouth where her lips were. She turned and walked away. A minute later, I raised myself up on my elbows, and saw a whole lot of doctors and nurses in my room. They were all in one corner. I have no idea what they was doing. One nurse came over to me and said, "You're blessed. God has something for you to do." I asked her, "Am I dead?" and she said, "Not anymore." I asked, "Am I going to die?" and she said, "Not on my watch." It felt like I was in that peaceful place for like 10 to 15 minutes, but I was really there for almost an hour.